Hi there, friends. It's Simone. It is Sunday, September 29th, 2024 in the afternoon because this morning my partner, my puppy and we went to Donner Lake, and I'm going to include a little clip of him swimming in Donner Lake because I just love when he does cool things like that. So good job. Good boy. Yes. That's what we did, but I made sure to actually be back in the afternoon. Not necessarily to film. That's just a really good bonus side effect, but also to prepare for my 31 inks, 31 pens, 31 postcards project in October. Tuesday is the 1st, and I would like to be ready. I already set up my desk, and I can totally film a clip of that and put it over here or in between here so that you can actually see what it looks like. But I also prepared my journal, my ink journal. So I did a 31 inks project. I'm so weird. Why am I not just doing it when everybody else does with 30 inks, 30 days? No, I do it differently. I did another 31 inks project in May, and I put it right here. But I saw Karina make a whole spread for her 30 inks, and I really liked that. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a full spread for both sides for October. So I have a little bit more room. I'm not sure what exactly is going to be here yet. Maybe I will put a small circle swatch here. I really don't know yet. I will see how I feel on October 1st, and that's the first one, and then I'm going to do all the other ones like the first one. I want to stamp October right here, then write the project title up here. It's going to be 31 postcards, but I still put them in envelopes because I actually made a sticker. I'm going to send that sticker with it. It's a little bit early, but I didn't know how it's going to turn out. And so I was going to give myself a little bit of time to maybe make it better, but I think this is cool. If you remember, I made this as a free printable, but I really like having this as a sticker. I can see myself using this as a inside cover for, well, if you put this maybe here in a journal, that would be cool, I believe. And so I'm going to include this in my postcards, and so this also gives me a little bit more room to decorate the postcards, so I don't have to make sure that I leave space for the address and stuff. And my original idea was to send postcards to friends. Now, I also really like to include all of my Ko-fi members. And what I didn't realize before I wrote it all down is that I have more than 31 Ko-fi members, which sucks. No, it doesn't suck. It's amazing because I really appreciate every single Ko-fi member, but it sucks for this project because that doesn't leave any room for friends. So I already sent out all the Ko-fi Gold members stuff because I made a journal for them, a junk journal and added some other stuff to that envelope, and I decided to send it all out. It's already on its way, and I hope they will be arriving in the first week of October. If you are a Ko-fi Gold member, please make sure to check your mailbox. And if it doesn't reach you by the second week of October, please reach out to me. I have one left that I can replace if one gets lost. I did not send them tracked. They fit in a letter size envelope, and it was light enough to be sent as a letter. So I might have to remake one or two if it doesn't arrive. That's that. So I do want to stamp here, so I need a stamp set to actually do that. I think I'm going to use this one because I love the font. Many of my stamp sets are from my previous scrapbooking days, and so I don't even know. I think Felicity Jane doesn't really exist anymore. I'm actually not sure. And I think what I also want to do, so I originally thought maybe I want to stamp with this archival ink Plum, but I think I want to stamp with black. Cat, I don't have a use for you right here. No, yeah, exactly. That I'm telling you. He's still making his way over here, and he's going to wait until he finds the water cup, and then he's going to drink out of it. It's fresh water, so it's okay. This is mine. Dude, move your butt. Okay. This time around, so in May, I just pulled ink samples from my box of exorbitant amounts of inks. So I think I'm going to align it right here and just go for it. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, it's always messy when I do this, so maybe I should speed it up. But I want to talk about the project first. October. Oh my God, it's gliding. This is what's wrong with Cosmo Airlight paper. And I did my status update here for September. It doesn't bleed through, but in my experience, it changes the way the paper behaves on the other side. So if I wrote on this side where the stamp impression is, on this side, you would see a difference in how it writes. So what I'm trying to make sure in this journal, and I'm not going to be using a Cosmo Airlight journal for ink stuff. This is messy. So I'm dipping my dried out, what is that called? I got this on Amazon. I use it as a stamp cleaner. It's really good. I will link it in the description box below. Comes in a pack of 2, and you can cut them to size, and it will last you a lifetime. So see how it cleans those stamps off really well. Okay. I was talking about the paper. So I'm going to use a Tomoe River paper journal next year. And I don't know yet what I'm going to use. I have a different variety of journals that I can use, and I will probably do paper tests, especially with the one from Hobonichi that I ordered this year with the 2025 release, because I'm not sure that the paper quality will hold up. So, but before that, I talked about my May project, the 31 inks stuff, and I pulled from my big box of samples, which is all the samples that I own. and I realized that I might not be interested in all samples equally. Maybe I'm not interested in them right now. This is a D. Why is this a D? And so maybe I wasn't excited about them, and I made myself use them at first, but it became really, not frustrating is not necessarily the right word for this, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as I could have. And so I decided that halfway through the project that I would pre-select some of the samples, and then I would still blindly pick the inks. That was good, but also not really, because it left me, especially at the end, I had samples that I wasn't really able to match with the right pen. And so I decided, if I'm going to do this project again, I will pre-select the inks and also pre-select the pens. So I have actually done some legwork before this. October. Yeah. Isn't the stamp font so awesome? I love it. So that's that. And I feel like I'm slowing down while I'm doing stuff, and it's like the sentence is so spread apart that you don't even know what I was talking about in the beginning. But I'm gonna finish it right now. So I did legwork, and I pulled out the samples. I actually sorted them in some sort of rainbow order, or at least the way I like, how I think it should go in rainbow order. And then I wrote them down. There's one that I didn't have at the time. I slotted it in later. And then I looked at all the inks and went through the list and assigned pens to the inks. This way, when I'm on day 31, I still have the pen that I would love to use most with this ink available for that ink, and not used it for something else. I hope that makes sense. I know that Karina Loves to Plan does that. And I know her name is Karina, but for me, in my mind, she is Karina Loves to Plan. That's her full name for me. She does it in Google Sheets, I believe. I know that, for instance, Kristen does many of her pen and ink management on Notion. And when I think about putting this list, it would have been cool if I had this list on, available on my computer. But every time I go to do things like that, I'm not feeling the computer vibe. I just feel more drawn to using my pen. When I plan things with pens, I love to plan on actual paper in analog, which I guess is okay. That's just how it goes. So I'm going to write this right here, postcards. "31 pens, 31 inks." Yep, I like how this looks. So this is prepared. You can see it also sits kind of on top of the paper, and it's not dry yet. It takes quite a long time. So stamping ink on this Cosmo Airlight paper to actually dry down, which is also something that is, this paper is just not really suitable for it. So I have this prepared. I need to clean some pens. That's what we're going to do next. this is going to go in here as well. Then I'm going to put this aside, set it aside so that it can dry. And then I'm really excited for Tuesday when I'm going to start. I have a plan, but I also don't. My plan is to make an ink swatch here. Let me grab the book that I still want to show you. So what I want to do, let me check how I did this in. So I did circles as well. Interesting. What did I do in June? Also circles. I do like the circles. I wasn't sure. But I think I'm just going to continue with the circles because I just like the circles. And I do those with this measuring cup. This is a, where does it say, 1/2 ounce cup. It came in a kit for mixing drinks. Then I have these swatch cards, and I have this book, and I love how many swatches I can get on a spread. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 25 plus 1, 2, 3 is 28 plus 28 is 56 swatches of the same color I can look at in one go. And I made this book so that I can have an empty spread, and then I can have another spread in this color, and then I'm moving on to blue. So I think having, how many? 56 plus 56 is 112 for each color on this specific color wheel should be enough. And if it isn't, then I'm just going to make another one of those. So this is after a lot of trial and error, I think this is, for me, in order to compare different colors, is the best way to look at them easily. I don't have to flip around. I still have 24 slots left for this blue-green. But this is where I want to swatch all of my samples when I'm doing this project. I'm swatching them on here, I'm swatching them here, and then I want to do basically 1/2 page snippet of how I like the pen and ink pairing. Maybe something happened, maybe I got a mail. So I just want to have a little bit of writing here so I can see what it looks like. What I noticed when I watched Karina's latest 30 Inks 30 Days videos is that she gives each ink and pen ratings, and I'm thinking of incorporating that. I'm not 100% sure. And then I want to swatch the ink on the swatch card as well, because I thought this would be a fun thing to include in my Happy Mail. And I hope most of the postcards that I have picked are fountain pen friendly enough so that I can actually write the message with the pen that I inked that day. But if that doesn't work, then I still have these cards to share. So that's my not so finalized plan for this project. I'm getting up early again so that I can fill the pen and do the swatch in the morning, and then probably in the afternoon or in the evening before I go to bed, I will sit down and write the note and embellish and not embellish as much as I am in the mood to. The postcards that I picked, I think I shared them in my last video too, but I want to show those to you as well. These are the postcards. I believe that Brandy's postcards are fountain pen friendly. I have some others mixed in. I'm not sure yet. I don't have the expectation that I can write with my fountain pens on these cards. It would be cool. I'm going to try at least write the name with the pen, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll just switch to either one of my fine platinum carbon black pens or to just my regular good old uni Jetstream. And then I will include this plus the swatch card plus the card in the letter. I haven't pre-addressed the envelopes yet. I was going to, but for some reason I just haven't gotten to that yet. And I also think it's not, well, it might be cool if I had them addressed, but as long as I get the postcards written, like that is part of my daily challenge. And then sending out the letters doesn't have to be on a daily basis. It would be fun, but if it's not going to happen, I will be okay with that. So here is my tray where I keep, this is supposed to be a casserole dish, but I somehow adopted this for my cleaned things. And so I'm just going to clean my pens now. And I'm really not sure how I should do that. So I have this thing right here. This is trash. This one I can take out. Maybe I can unink these pens into here, if that works. Okay, this is already empty. Let's see if there's more coming out. No. So I need to clean this out later. I'm gonna take this to my sink and then rinse it with a syringe. I usually just take water in here and then use lots of pressure and splash it in, and it rinses the cartridges quite well. The pens I usually use, or I started using these Schoen Design cleaners. I have the Pilot, Sailor, Platinum, the regular. This is the old style. Oh, okay, this is not going to work. This is the old style. This is what the new style. This is the old style. This I received when I bought my Monarch nib, but obviously it doesn't fit in here. Do I need a Lamy cleaner? Nope. I do also have the Lamy cleaner, and these are amazing cleaning tools. However, they are not working with this. So there's water here and there's water here. So what I thought I was going to do is clean this out in this water here first, but this one is not really working like that. So maybe I can, what if I do this, unscrew this, do I still have some paper towels? Well, I should have brought some, right? Okay, there's one here. Because I feel like if I don't use a paper towel to get the color here away out of this, okay, this is good enough for me right now. And then where is this? Okay. So this is going to be my dirty water. I'm going to dump all the leftover ink in here first. And then I have, this looks like it's almost clean now. And then I have basically the clean water to rinse. Usually I do this at the sink, and then I just empty this out and refill it with fresh water. Okay, this I declare clean, and I'm just going to screw this back in here. And see how, and then I often test if the ink that comes out is still, the water that comes out is still colored. No, it doesn't. No, it isn't. Okay, what other Ta-da! This is more complicated than I thought it was going to be. This ink is Monteverde Chameleon. Look at how I hope you can see how dark this ink is now. This water is now. I have the feeling that Monteverde Chameleon is very saturated, and thus cleaning might be really tough too. Okay, so let's move over to the clear. Oh, wow. This is clean, I would say. So, but however, it looks like there's still... Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just soak this in here, leave it down here, and rinse it out later. This is going to be here. This I don't need anymore. This I will rinse out later. Then I have two more that are Jovo style nibs. I'm gonna see if I can clean the Benu Euphoria with this cleaning tool as well. Look how little ink I'm dropping. I don't even feel like this is worth keeping that in an ink vial. I always feel bad when I'm dumping ink, or I like, should I keep it? But I've been very rigorous with telling myself that it's okay, and I'm just, if I don't like it anymore, I am dumping down all of the inks down the drain. I don't have any particular you know, I'm not going to keep the ink unless it's an ink that I really love and this is the last bit, then maybe I'll keep it around until the pen is empty. But if I'm done with the pen and ink and I don't feel like using it anymore, I am totally okay with dumping it down the drain. And I've been doing this for a while now, and now it doesn't feel as, you know, as if I was breaking a code anymore, which I think is good. I don't need to make myself feel guilty about my hobbies. And I have so much ink in sample form and bottles that I really don't have to fret about 5 drops of ink here. So why was this clear-ish before and now it's not anymore? No one knows. Nobody knows. I didn't even do the cleaning tool thing. Oh, cool. Well, so you can clean your stuff any way you want. Let's try this one more time. The water in my syringe is clear, so I'm calling this done. Wow. So this is so tight on the monarch nib. Then I'm just, again, seeing if there's ink on here. This is done. Last one of those at least. And then I have 2 piston fillers and 1 platinum that I need to clean. Okay, let's dump. Oh, there's not even anything here. It seems like it, but if okay, there's something coming out. Maybe 2 drops or 3. Let's see if this works on here. It's very, no, it doesn't. Unfortunate. So I just keep using this one then. Okay. Someone mentioned in one of my videos in the comments that they would love to see how I clean my pens. This is basically how. I just don't, before I had these cleaning tools, I would do this with all of them. And now I try to use the cleaning tools as much as I can because I find this so hard. And also I use this to rinse them out. My old one broke here, so I ordered a new one, and I had it cut a little bit shorter so that it could fit onto more of the what is that even called? This spouts, nib, back housings, nubbies. Does it have a word? If you know, let me know in the comments down below. This is the hardest part, and that's exactly why I don't necessarily like piston fillers, because you have to clean them this way. There is no other way. When I do this at my sink, I have running water. I feel like I can move over to the clear water thing. Yeah, almost. Oh my gosh. And then it also takes more of the water out. And I usually use a, what is it called? An insert in my sink drain so that nothing can flush or can drop down. And everything, then most of those nibs, when they're like unwilling to get clean, I just drop them in the clear water container. And then see here, this one is also still super green. Okay, then I just drop this here, and I drop all of my cartridges in the sink. And then when I'm done cleaning the pens, I'm cleaning the cartridges one by one with this with the syringe. I suck in ink. I don't even know if I suck in ink or if and then I go in like this. Then I am rinsing it out basically. And I have the feeling that this is clean. So, okay, next one. This was a platinum carbon black experiment pen. I have decided that I would like to use this in October with my colored inks, just to see if I would like this nib width, which is an extra fine, a monoline grind on an extra fine platinum 14 karat gold nib. That was done by Kirk Spear at the San Francisco Pen Show. I had him grind this with the intention of possibly using it with carbon black ink as a permanent ink holder. I don't know if I like the line width yet, and so I want to see if I like the line width and the writing experience with colored inks, if that would be a possibility to reuse this pen in a different function. If that is not going to work, I will probably let go of it. Maybe not right now, but I want to try it a little bit, and if it doesn't work with either the platinum carbon black or the colored inks, then of course, if it doesn't work, then I'll let it go. And this pen I think I got for around $100 from Amazon. So, oh well, that's the big problem with the grinds, because you also pay for the grind, and the monoline grind, I think it's $50. So the worth of the pen, even if it's, so you can buy this pen for cheaper, But then how do you price the grind that is on there? Do you charge for it? How would you do that, and how would you go about it? And now I forgot to use my tool again. So stupid. I want to show it to you. Platinum fits right on there. Then we can, oh my gosh, still so much black. Can you see how easy this cleans out? There was this big black cloud at the bottom, and now it's almost done. However, I do believe that, see, this is what happens when you have a pigmented ink in there. It sits on the nib. I might have to put this through my ultrasonic cleaner, but I also might not. We'll see. It would probably be a better thing to do that, because then I know that there isn't as much or none at all pigment still in the feed. I don't know. Is this an indication, the pigment that sits on top of the nib, is that an indication that this is what it looks like on the inside too? Or is that just the top of the nib, and now that I have used some friction with my paper towel to rub it off, is that all? I'm gonna put this to the side, then probably just gonna go and put it through. That's that. Then I have my Lamy 2000, which is a piston filler. So there's like 3 drops left. This is so dark now. Does it even make a difference anymore? Maybe to get the first bits out, possibly. This piston is so nice and so smooth. I really love it. And my Endless Pens order finally shipped. I don't know if you remember. I almost couldn't believe the email. I'm not already 75 when it ships. I ordered a Waterman Carène in medium, as well as a medium Lamy 2000 nib in their Independence Day sale that lasted from a whole month. And when I ordered, both items that I ordered were in stock, but unfortunately one of them then suddenly became a pre-order, which I hate. I hate that so much. So I don't have a problem with pre-orders per se, but I don't like when an item shows as available and then I order it and then I get a pre-order email that says, well, one of your items unfortunately is on pre-order and now you are locked into this pre-order policy. You can find it here. It's 500 pages long and it's not to your advantage at all. You can also cancel this in the next 20 seconds. Otherwise, we will have a restock fee of $1 million. And I just don't I don't care for that. I would pre-order from Endless Pens knowingly. If I was going there and I saw, okay, this is on pre-order, let me click and pre-order it. That's a different story. I'm totally fine with doing that. I'm not normally a person who wants to do that, but if I wanted something so badly that I was going in knowing that I was getting a pre-order, that's totally fine in my eyes. But the other one, the one where I'm like blindsided with a pre-order, that's the one that I don't like. Do we think this is clean? Let's test. Yeah. Can you see? I like this. Let's just get all the water out. I totally forgot that that's how water comes out. And my idea is, if the package arrives, it's scheduled to arrive on October 1st. So if it comes here, and they ship from Florida, and I think they shipped it out just before all of the bad hurricanes hit the southern east coast. Well, was it even the east coast? Wasn't it like coming from the Gulf and then going like this? If it arrives before my Lamy 2000 is scheduled to be used, I will change the nib. If it doesn't, then that's fine. I also made space on my sheet to use the Waterman Karen with a medium nib. But again, if it doesn't arrive, I have an alternative for that. Wow, there was still quite a bit of ink in this pen. Now, this piston feels good too. It feels a little ratchety, and it makes me a little nervous. This is an ebonite feed, so I might be cleaning this pen for the next year or so. That was one of the things that I wasn't aware when I purchased my first pen with an ebonite feed that I no longer have in my possession. That was the Scribo Feel with a medium nib. I didn't know that ink kind of like attaches itself to, I'm just gonna go here straight away, that it kind of attaches itself to the feed, the ebonite feed, more than to a regular plastic feed, and then it takes ages for that feed to clean. You will feel like it's, oh, everything's fine, it's clean, all is well, and then you touch the feed to a paper towel, and then it's still, I think I had pink. This will be more of a yellow gold greenish color, and it was so weird. It was like, oh my god, how many times do I have to do this until it's really clean? I'm really enjoying this titanium nib, this medium titanium nib, so much so that I already put it on a look for a fine titanium nib at the San Francisco Pen Show in 2025. And my wish list for the San Francisco Pen Show is already really expensive. I have 3 items on that list, and I probably should go there on Friday morning, first hour, get all the things that I want, and then head out, because then I've already broken the bank. And because I am traveling to Germany next year, beginning of August, I will probably really have to stick to my budget and make a concerted effort to save up for this show, because I've already got so many other things going on, and that's okay. I think I really need to, as I say it all the time, I really need to slow down-ish with my purchases. And she says, after she ordered ink from Van Ness Pens, and she ordered not just the 1 ink bottle that she wants to buy, but also so much that she reaches the free shipping threshold. But ink doesn't count. I'm talking about pens. I feel like I really need to, this feels clean. What do we think? You know what? I'm going to suck up a tiny bit of water here. Well, that was too much, actually. Let's empty this out onto the paper towel and see what happens. Is it still? It's very light, right? Or what do you think? I I really have a good, robust lineup of pens. I have a variety of pens that are really amazing. I love them all. I feel like before I add more pens, besides the one that's already on its way to me, I really need to explore the ones that I have right now because they're really good and I really like them. And I'm currently at 36 plus the Waterman, that's 37 pens. Then this one I don't own yet, so it doesn't count. So that would be 38. That's the most I think I've had. And I'm not uncomfortable with that number, but it feels like a good amount. It doesn't feel like too many. It doesn't feel like too little. Last time I felt a little bit constricted when I had, I think, 31 pens exactly for 31 days. Now this month there's, for instance, these 2 pens in October that I won't ink up, which is okay because I can leave them for now, so I have some colored inks to use, and I'm really good with that. So this doesn't go in here and this doesn't go in here. All of this I'm going to leave here. I'm going to take this to my sink later and finish cleaning the converters. I'm going to run this through my ultrasonic cleaner, and then I'm just letting them sit outside on a shelf to dry, air dry. And then I will put them into my pen case when I probably will need the first one of them. Cleaning up the pens basically took up all the video, but I wanted to show you some new things. I ordered the Ad Liebe. Does it even say Ad Liebe somewhere on this thing? Yeah, right here. So I ordered the Ad Liebe Natural Weeks cover. But I actually wanted to show you this pen first. So I have inked this in the beginning of September. Today, as I said, is September 29th. When did I ink this? September 6th. So I inked that on September 6th with Platinum Carbon Black. 2 days ago, I refilled the converter, which is a Con 40, with Platinum Carbon Black because I have experienced quite a few issues with this specific pen and ink pairing. And now, September 26th, I re-inked it, so 3 days ago. Can you see what the problem might be? It's September 29th. It has hard starts, it skips, and I'm not really sure if it is possibly the pen and ink, the nib and ink combination. It could be the fact that this body, this is a Moonman A1 body, not the Pilot Vanishing Point body, doesn't seal as well as the Pilot Vanishing Point body. So what I did is I ordered the Tremendous Document Black. And I'm going to, when that arrives, I'm going to unink this and try the other ink in here. I have had one on my Discord say that the Tremendous doesn't dry out as easily as Platinum Carbon Black in their Pilot Vanishing Point extra fine nib. But I also think what I'm going to do is I do have a Pilot Vanishing Point body that I just wanted to use with my medium nib, but I'm going to take this nib out of here again, put it in here. Maybe let me just, this is wet, so let me wipe this down and see if this makes it work again. So I want to put this in here. I think on my list I saw that this pen I want to use on the 15th of October. So what I could do, because I already ordered the De Atramentis ink, is leave this here and experiment with it. Oh, I shouldn't do that. That's an expensive nib. Leave this in here until I need this pen and the nib that I just put in here. So September 30th. No, it's 29th. What the heck? September 29th. So leave this here and then put this in here. What I don't want to do is go out and buy a pen body, even if Pilot increases their pens, just because I have this slight idea that this might seal better. I'm going to try this and not panic buy a Pilot Vanishing Point pen. But this is what I want to use. I want to use my Pilot Vanishing Point with my weeks. And this is my planner for 2025. Well, currently the 2024 is in here. I thought I saw possibly Mitts, maybe Wendy, Sue from Fountain Pen News have a cover on their weeks to put in here, but mine does not fit a cover on cover. And I'm not 100% sure if I like this cover just yet or not. It's definitely not love at first sight. It is, the smooshiness is love at first sight for sure. I like how compact this is. I love the pen loop, is awesome. I'm not sure I like the button closure here. It's kind of weird for me to close it like that. It feels the wrong way. I feel like closing it like this would be the more intuitive way to close this cover, but it's closed like this. Now I don't keep a lot of things in here, so I can fuss around with it easily. But it's not intuitive at all. That's the first thing that I don't necessarily like. This is originally intended to be in here. And then these buttons, let me just put it there to show you. And then this notebook would be open-ish, kind of, and I would close this like so. And this does even make less sense to me. I knew this going in, so this is not me complaining about this cover because I didn't know that it wasn't closing like that. This is me noticing that, or acknowledging that I bought this cover because I really like this pen case and I wanted to have their week's cover. But knowing that I knew this going in, but I wanted to use it anyway and test it out and see how I feel about it after I used it for a little bit. I love that it's so compact. Can you see the color difference already? I got this in July and it's now the end of September. This is so much lighter than this. I hope this will be as amazing as this. I love the pen loop here. I like how it lays open. I can open it to the week that is here. This is what's coming up next week. I've been using my planner more since I'm using my fountain pens here again. I've been writing on the weeks for a while now. End of August was basically right after the pen show. I've been using it more or less frequently. It's not completely full. It doesn't need to be, but yeah. I love this setup. Not so convinced by the closure. And I also felt the need that maybe I need to take this with me, which is new. I've been leave my planner at home on the desk kind of person recently. So the urge to, oh, I might have to take this with me is weird. But it's possible. And I'm okay with this scuffing up. Maybe I should leave it at home for a while longer until I know that I don't want to sell this. Because as you can see, this already has some darker marks on here. I'm kind of rough with my stuff when I know that I keep it, because I love the used look of it. So and then it's harder to resell, as you might know. So let me show you my journal. I'm still really not caught up on the things that I wanted to catch up on. At this point, I might just leave it like that and just stick in things, leave the sticky notes in here and call it a day. This is last week. I really like how it turned out. It's a little bit busy, but also it's cool. Probably was very inspired by mitts. And this is this week, which I'm okay with, but I don't really like these titles. Not a happy camper with that. And this pen, as my writing pen for this notebook, has been proven very lovely. So the last thing that I want to do is actually catch up in my reading journal, but I have not prepared well, as usual. WTF. I want to update my reading journal, and it's a little bit longer. Let's see how that is going to go. Maybe I'm gonna do speed it up, or just tell you the title and then write without the camera. But I filmed a reading journal thing the other day, and I just didn't enjoy it. And so I think I'm going back to just letting you know every week what I read. However, this is more likely the last 3 weeks or so. And I went through quite a few books that I don't usually listen to, or that's not true. Like just the same old stuff. So this is number 46, and it is called Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And this is the second part of that series. I don't even know what it's called. Part of Your World is the series called. And I listened to Part of Your World. Then I listened to Yours Truly. Then I listened to Just for the Summer. I talked about this in that specific video, which will come out on Wednesday, October 2nd. So you will, if you're not a Ko-fi member, you will have already watched that video if you're interested. That was number 42. And then before that, I listened to, what did I say? What was that called? That's quite a bit of time. Part of Your World was number 26. Lovely palette cleanser romance. This was similar. I find that, or that's how I listen to those. I feel like Abby Jimenez isn't just doing romance and does he love me, does he not love me? It's more like romance with a background that makes the characters quite believable. So, number 2 in series. And I don't think I want to write a lot about this, and I just gonna say, I really enjoyed this one. Maybe I can say that the people, the behavior that these characters expose, why they can't be together or why they're complicated characters, have reasons. And those are often explored. And it doesn't feel as, sometimes in romance novels, they are quirky and weird, but you don't really understand why. And that's kind of the kind of romance that I don't personally care for anymore. Then number 47, I listened to A Most Agreeable Murder by Julia Seals. And I think that was her debut novel, and I really enjoyed it. It's a, what is it? It's a mystery. It's a publisher's weekly best book of the year. When a wealthy bachelor drops dead at a ball, a young lady takes on the decidedly improper role of the detective in this action-packed debut comedy of manners and murder. And yes, it was comical, and I really enjoyed it. Can't wait for more by this author. And I actually really enjoy these novels that are in a historical setting, but that feel relevant to actual society right now. It's like, let's take this aspect of our society that is weird, and maybe we should think about it and put it in a different setting and show how we could deal with it outside of reality, kind of, you know? I don't know. I'm really bad at explaining books and why I like them. But that was super. It was fun. It was cute. There was a tiny romance aspect involved. And it was all super improper, and it was really good. And I'm seeing a pattern here. This is murder, mystery, comedy. This is a romance novel. I'm reading a lot of comfort here. Oh, oops. This is not what I wanted. Timeline. I'm in Libby, in the Libby app on my computer, and I'm looking at the timeline, how I borrowed things. Then number 48 was maybe, this is definitely a contender of my best books of 2024. This is a fellowship of puzzle makers. What I loved about this, so Samuel Burr. I, as you know, listen to most of my audiobooks. Most of my books are on audio. That's what I wanted to say. And when I started this book, there was a lot talk about puzzling and actual puzzles in the book. I was under the impression that there was puzzles in the book that I wouldn't be able to solve if I didn't have the book. And that is actually true. I wasn't able to solve this or look at these codes, and many of the chapters here have puzzles in them like this. So if you want to puzzle and be a puzzler, then you need to have the paper version of this book. Because I liked it so much, I actually bought the paper copy. But when I started listening to the audiobook, I had this feeling that maybe this is a book that I should actually read. And then I went onto Amazon, checked out how much it was, when it would arrive, and I didn't have anything else to listen to, so I decided to listen to the audiobook anyways, which I really enjoyed. It's two timelines, the past and the present. The past is narrated by Pippa. The present is narrated by Clayton. And so it was really interesting. You were easily able to follow the two timelines because there were two different narrators. The voices were pleasant to listen to. The pace of the narration was good. But when I looked through on Amazon what the book was about, I looked at the reviews, and there were so many reviews that this book is so boring. If I had known that, they made me laugh. And I talked to a coworker about this book and said, I'm not even sure I should read this now because it's supposed to be super boring. But because I didn't have anything else, I just started to listen to it, and I needed this book. It needed to be slow. It needed to be told just the way that it was told. I was in a weird state of mind when I started to listen to this book, and it just grounded me. And maybe it was the mental state that I was in combination with how slow this book was, which, yes, it's true. It's kind of slow, but it also was the perfect pace for me at that time. And there was so much humanness in this book, so many things that I loved reading about or hearing about. It was just so incredibly awesome. And that's the reason why I didn't feel at all that this book was boring. Yes, it's slower paced. This is what my friend Brandy had to say. This was such a fun, touching book. If you are a puzzle person, or even if you aren't, but you'd like a fun, touching, easy read, this book might just be the thing for you as this season ends. It was cool. It was so lovely. And I'm going to stick this in here. And I am going to write here, this book came to me at the right time. Definitely a contender for a top spot in 2024. All right, book number 49. Not sure how many books are still left. Ah, yes. That was so fun. Colton Gentry's third act by Jeff Sentner. This is another romance novel about a guy, from the guy's perspective, I believe, written by a guy. And it was awesome. It was funny. It was heartwarming. I loved how he was able to, so his third act is being a cook, sous chef. His first act was a football star in high school. His second act was a country singer. And how Jeff Sentner was able to relate all three of those acts as to being the same, like why all of those worked as being something that he loved. I just really enjoyed this. And I loved how the characters were not flat at all. They were so well developed. And I didn't think it would work for me. I was just super curious because I had heard about this book on various different podcasts, and they all spoke very highly of the book, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's working for me, but it did in this time around. It's really lovely. Football star. Country singer. Sous chef. Lovely. Sometimes I feel like maybe I just don't have a high expectation, or I'm so easily pleased, because I really like most of the books that I'm listening to, and I'm just so good at picking the books that work for me. Not sure. This one, if you don't have a problem with open door romance, which there is some involved, but not super much, and you're okay with death, talking about death, then this book, I laughed out loud so many times. Mrs. Nash's Ashes. By Sarah Adler. I think this book was her debut novel, but there is another one that's already out. So I don't know how old this book is. Maybe I should go down and check for the publication dates for those books. Hilarious road trip romance. Millicent was a teen movie star, kind of, in a teen history series. And she was Mrs. Nash's best friend. Mrs. Nash has died, and she is taking part of her ashes down to Key West in Florida, where she hopes to meet Mrs. Nash's romance from World War II. And she would like to reunite the two. The story is told incredibly well. You get to know Mrs. Nash's story. You get to know Millicent's story. She is doing a road trip with a guy that she knows a tiny bit because of her ex-boyfriend. And there is flight cancellations, and so they decide that they are going to road trip together down to Florida instead of taking a flight. That's how this book starts, and you are in for some comical moments. Sarah Adler is a really good writer. It's super quirky, and it's lovely and adorable. And I need to recommend this book to my friend Brandy. I hope she doesn't have a problem with romance, because I think she would love it. So if you love the book recommendations that Brandy does, then I think she would love this one. Okay, that's it. Let me know what you're up to this week. And of course, did you do 30 Inks 30 days? How did it go for you? Have you read The Fellowship of the Puzzle Makers? Have you read any of the books that I just talked about? I would love to hear your thoughts on those. I think I also got A Most Agreeable Murder from Brandy's recommendation. Not sure. And I'm super excited for October 1st. I'm super excited for my pens to arrive. Super excited to try out this Hobonichi Weeks. It feels so good. I feel very much positively inclined to give this a go until I feel really great about the snap closure here, because it just feels so good. Yeah, let me know. I'm super curious. Let me know how you clean your pens and all the other stuff that I talked about. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I always appreciate you. I always appreciate my time that I spend with you on Sundays, and I really make, like, it's so ingrained now to make time on Sundays to do this, because it feels like it's a really great end of my week and a really great start of my week to just take, what is that? Take stock of what's going on. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Until then, bye.